dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Keaton Hall. Welcome into this slightly later than usual edition of Mountain News on the weekend. The Bell County Sheriff's Department is looking for a man they say is armed and dangerous. The Sheriff's Department says 47-year-old Paul Holland shot at two sheriff's deputies last night on Highway 66. Then they say he ran into a tree line. Paul Holland now has several warrants out for his arrest, including attempted murder. Anyone who knows where Paul Holland is asked to contact the Bell County Sheriff's Office at 606-337-6174. The streets of Middlesboro were filled with people for a major event. WYMT's Jack Dimler was there for all the action in Middlesboro.
While many community members walked the streets of downtown Middlesboro to try some of the best wings in the city, others marched the streets for something bigger.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. We don't want this to fall in the back of anybody's minds. We need to keep this on the forefront because our community has gathered more than it ever has for this.
Getting support not only from the community, but worldwide.
We've seen a lot of support from our community, from other states. I know, actually, this has reached all the way to Australia, actually. I've seen people commenting from other countries about it.
Continuing to fight for 17-month-old baby Elena, who died following sexual assault back at the end of July.
I'm here for her. I'm here to fight for her. She has no voice. We're giving her a voice.
Community members marched through downtown with signs for something that has shocked an entire town.
It's hit us at our core. You know, a lot of people have children and it makes them reflect back, you know, what if this were my child?
The case has even led to a petition being made.
So our petition is more or less for harsher punishments, death penalty, longer sentences, etc.
Sex offenders currently get maximum punishment of up to 5 to 10 years, which community members say isn't enough, keeping the fight for justice for baby Elena alive. In Middlesboro, Jack Demler, WYMT Mountain News.
Howard says they need to wait for DNA results to come back and trust the police department and Commonwealth's attorney will get more arrests. And right behind the march, the 8th annual Fling Festival was taking place in Middlesboro earlier today. The event started in a driveway where friends were debating who made the best wings. 8 years later, it's become one of the biggest events in downtown Middlesboro. Community members pay $10 to compare the wings from various vendors, and then they vote on who has the best wings. Steve Cameron, who set up the festival 8 years ago, says the growth of it is a great feeling.
Man, that's great. That's what it's all about, man. Seeing all the people, getting all the community involved. We got a lot of sponsors, got to thank them. All the team support, biggest event we've had so far in the 8 years. This is the most we've had. Got the fire truck down there with the American flag. I mean, what could be better, right?
Cameron says all the money raised from the Fling Festival goes to beautifying downtown. Cameron expects to raise at least $10,000 to $12,000. Some groups in Whitley County are making it their mission to raise money for a marker showcasing the story of Lance Corporal Joe C. Paul, a Marine who died in the Vietnam War. WYMT's RJ Johnson talked with event organizers about why this is so important.
Dozens of people gathered at the Whitley County Courthouse on Saturday to honor Lance Corporal Joe Calvin Paul. Paul died during the Vietnam War. Commandant Greg Sims says because of the way the government works, Paul was always labeled as a Dayton, Ohio native, even though he spent most of his life in the bluegrass.
Where your address is at home, where you enlisted from, and where your home is at the time of death. And that was Dayton, Ohio, of which he only lived for like 2 years, 2.5 years before he went in the Marine Corps.
Until a couple of years ago, when he was finally honored in Whitley County.
To know that we had a Medal of Honor winner right here where I grew up, where a lot of us grew up here in the mountains, absolutely spectacular. So we had to become involved in that, obviously.
James Fryman with the Backroads of Appalachia says several groups are raising money to put a marker in the area where Paul grew up.
at the very end of the holler, we call it a holler, Gatlin Holler, used to be an old coal camp that Josie Paul grew up in. So people can come here, they can go and see that marker. It'll be a point of interest in our mobile app, and they'll be able to take pictures with it and really memorialize and honor him the way he should have been 60 years ago.
He says they are proud to be a part of restoring a part of history that was never told.
And of course, it's an honor for us at Backroads of Appalachia, the Whitley County Motorcycle Group, to be a part of this and honor this hero and tell his story for future generations to see long after we're gone.
In Whitley County, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Fryman says they'll continue to host more events to raise money for the marker that will be displayed on the J.C. Paul Trail on Highway 92. For more information on how you can donate, visit our website, WYMT.com. Well, firefighters throughout the state gathered at Hazard Community and Technical College today for the annual fire school. 390 firefighters attended the fire school today. Upon completion, firefighters receive credit towards earning their degree. Officials say having education courses like this is critical to refresh firefighters on basic operations.
We love our students. We love having people come out. We have a lot of unique opportunity here, that a lot of trainings that's not available to these students in their local firehouses, and that's why we want them to come out and just get as much information and hands-on training as they possibly can.
The fire school will conclude with the first ever 5-alarm festival. It actually finished up just a couple minutes ago. It had music, food, drinks, and activities for kids. Remote Area Medical hosted their 10th free medical clinic today in Pike County. The clinic took place at East Ridge High School. Remote Area Medical hosts free clinics in rural areas where access to medical care can be tough.
So it might be a barrier regarding transportation, or a lack of resources that maybe need to be directed elsewhere and not toward healthcare. So it's really important that we're offering this free pop-up clinic so that whatever barriers there might be, we're overcoming those.
The free clinic will continue tomorrow on a half-day schedule beginning at 9 a.m. Remote Area Medical plans to host more events like this in the future in Pike County. Stick around. We'll be right back with a check of the weather after this break.